Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger, my friends. Baiken is now out for Guilty Gear Strive. So I figured we'd make a video, take a look at her, and take a look at one of her more interesting new mechanics, that being the rope mechanic. So the rope basically, well, when it's up, it ties the enemy and you together, and there's very little escape, perhaps for either of you. So let's go into it in some detail. So first, how do we apply the rope? Well, it's pretty easy. There's two ways to do it. One is through the Kabari special move, that's half circle forward and slash, and specifically slash. So you can see here the rope is attached, but if we do the heavy slash version, we instead get the more classic Iron Claw special move. So it has to be the slash version. And it will attach on hit or on block. So if the enemy happens to be blocking, the rope still gets attached, so blocking will not save you from the status. As long as this move connects in any way, shape, or form, the rope is attached. So that's good to know. Also, your basic throw will also put on the rope status. As you can see here, the rope is on. Just from the basic throw, didn't have to do anything special. Now, there are some situations where perhaps you might not want the rope attached from the basic throw, specifically in certain character matchups, which we'll talk about in a second. But if you don't want it, it's pretty easy. All you have to do is hold throw, and if you hold throw, you just get the regular throw. It'll be a different distance. As you see here, it's quite a bit further away than the regular throw toss with the rope. But if you don't want the rope for whatever reason, just hold throw and you won't get the rope attached. So now we know how to apply the rope, and the basics, well, it's pretty basic, right? We have basically a set amount of distance we can go from each other once the rope is attached. Now that applies for me, and that also very much applies for the enemy. We're kind of stuck together, basically. You can try to backdash, it's not going to work. You'll get a little bit away before it just kind of rips you back in. Once the rope is attached, you are both in it, and you both got to figure it out. So if you happen to be the enemy and you do not want to be close to Baiken, your options are very limited in that regard. Now, thankfully, it doesn't last too long from the enemy perspective, right? But Baiken has you locked down. Now, if it was only and simply that, then it would be a cool mechanic, sure enough, but it wouldn't be that crazy. But the thing is, we can definitely apply some crazy things. So the thing with the rope is it applies a lot of momentum one way or the other, right? Like if you try to go back, it'll bring you in. And say you applied off the throw and you kick the enemy after it, it'll kind of toss them back but bring you in together, right? So a lot of weird momentum-based stuff can happen. So let me show you first an easy example to get a 50-50 left-right mix-up after a basic throw. This is very easy. This is not too difficult at all. All you gotta do is apply the basic throw. Simple enough. And then right after that, just jump. And as you can see here, just off the jump, it tried to force us together, right? So if you want to stay same side, jump straight up. So I'll show you that example here. So do it here. Jump straight up, mat. It'll land in their face, right? And you are here, so after the mat, you can attack them or do whatever you want. Now, conversely, instead of just jumping straight up and doing the mat, just jump forward and do the mat. And that becomes a cross-up immediately. As you can see there. So that had to be blocked the other side. And I'll show you here the Baiken bot doing it to me so you can see my inputs, me trying to block. So right now they're going to try to do the cross-up version. So they're going to throw me and do the same thing you just saw earlier. And me holding back, you saw my inputs here on the bottom left, me holding back doesn't work. I'm going to get crossed up. So you just choose, jump straight up or jump forward. And it looks kind of the same because either way, when the throw the rope brings you in, it makes a lot of the jumps look really similar because it's just ripping you in. So it can be a little difficult to visually assess which is which. And there's another fun layer to this, is that either version, doesn't matter which, is completely safe to even the fastest of possible reversals. So either they sit and block, which works fine for you because then your advantage in their face is Baiken is very plus after the fact, or it connects, all the better yet, then you can combo after the hit. But as long as you hold back, you're completely safe to even the fastest possible reversals in the game. So it just works out great, and that's all thanks to the rope basically manipulating your mobility and your jump, giving you this mix-up potential. Some more fun with momentum. We showed this earlier, how if you do the basic throw and have the rope on and you kind of smack them after the fact, there's just a lot of extra momentum and it shoves them out and then it kind of sandwiches you together with the elastic, that can lead to some interesting setups. Like that right there. So normally at that distance, we would not be able to cross over with the instant air dash. And our Yozansen, which is our big circular air sword attack, if it hits the end of it, it becomes a cross-up basically, right? So just this little bit of extra momentum thanks to the rope slingshots us forward and lets that become a cross-up. And wouldn't you know, it's a little frame perfect in a way that if you try to reverse out of this, it's not really going to work for you so good. Because when the reversal is valid to go off, you're still on the original side. So it can make a lot of reversals whiff. So that's really, really good. So once again here, just throw him, hit him after the throw, instant air dash over the head, Yozansen, and it smacks him. Now here's the other part. The rope still keeps you together even after that Yozansen hit. So it pulls him back in after the ground bounce. In regular situations here, you'd be a little too far away to, like, you know, just get any kind of real follow-up. Like, unless you wanted to do a Roman cancel or something. But since it's pulling him back in, that means guaranteed combos. And there you go. So I'm sure there could probably be like a better combo. It is day one after all. But that's just an example of the power of the rope effect and how it gives a move that otherwise would just be a regular cross-up, full combo potential mid-screen when it never otherwise would have it. So the rope now allows us to get setups, it allows us to get gimmicks, all that kind of stuff. Naturally, how about combos? Because we can create some pretty decent combos in pretty realistic situations. Like, hey, counter hit with a big stand heavy? That's certainly a realistic situation. That's not a 1 in a million dream situation. And off that, thanks to the rope, we can get some fancier than usual combos. So what I'm doing here is our stand heavy counter hit and going to the Kabari rope, and then we're going to hit jab and forward kick, which is a natural combo. So we hit with the mat, and oh, you see that, right? We hit him with the mat, they flew away, and they came crashing back in. Normally in this situation, they would stay just, far away. We could get a hit off it, sure, but thanks to the rope, it bounces them right back in, and we can get some more stuff. So there you go, pretty solid combo off a single counter hit. Once again, probably not optimal, it is day one after all, but it's giving you an idea of what's possible. Normally, after the tatami mat was done, the enemy would be blown away. We'd be lucky to get a single hit, right? But after the fact the rope brings them back in, we can get close slash, crouch slash, and a heavy slash, and then a super. Wouldn't be possible otherwise before. So offensively, I hope that gives you some ideas of what's possible, because there's a lot possible, and there's certainly a lot to be discovered yet, right? But on the other end, there's a little bit of a hang-up. Yeah, you see this rope, right? We're attached together. I can't escape. And sometimes there's characters where maybe you don't want to be so close to them, right? So once again, this is where you remember, if you do the throw, hold throw, and then it'll do a different animation and won't attach the rope, because the last thing you want to do is do the throw against Potemkin, and then you can't get away from Potemkin, right? And here's one of the downsides of the rope. When you get hit, the rope doesn't go away. Normally, most fighting games, this kind of thing, where it's very advantageous to the attacker, usually the rule set works is, okay, you get to do all your crazy stuff, but if you get hit, it goes away. Not in this game, which in a lot of ways is a good thing, but in a lot of ways is a bad thing. Say you find yourself in a scenario, you're doing a block string or whatever, and you just kind of toss it out, and it's Potemkin, so you want to jump away maybe. You are a little bit negative after this. And one of the things here is, you try to jump away, well, it brings you back in. And if it brings you back in, bad things can happen, for sure. So maybe in this scenario here, Potemkin, he knows you're going to try to jump away. Well, that can happen, right? That can happen. But remember, the rope does not go away on hit. What does that mean? Well, it means that can happen. So he gets to take advantage of the rope just like you get to take advantage of the rope. and yeah, go from there, right? So the enemy can potentially get just as much benefit as you can. Just as you can get special combos thanks to the rope that otherwise, wouldn't be possible, well, so can the enemy, right? The enemy gets a benefit as well. Old Leo here, he can just go slash heavy slash forever until the rope goes away, because you don't get pushed out anymore. The rope keeps you in. So even though you might be learning your special rope combos, every character in the game is going to have special rope combos against Baiken. So it's something you really got to take into mind. So all in all, this rope mechanic is very unique. It's very fun. It's very interesting, right? It changes the usual Baiken dynamic from the older games where she was very much, a defensive character. And now her offense is much stronger thanks to the fact that she can always be tied into you. And not only can she be tied into you, the tie-in gives her a lot of fun and interesting tools and gimmicks to work with. So that said, the examples shown in this video are very literally just the tip of the iceberg. In days and weeks and months to come, I'm sure you will find many more crazy possibilities with this, because with a mechanic like this, the possibilities are, in fact, near endless. So I think it's a great signature trait for Baiken to have. That all said, Baiken is out now if you have the season pass, and she's out in a couple days if you don't. And I think she's really cool and really fun, so hey, go out and give her a shot. So my friends, we're at the end of the video, so thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, so go out and play some Guilty Gear.